Happy New Year, beautiful people. It's Chi Special again. I want to share with you how I entertained my guests this past Christmas in my brand new village kitchen in Imo State. This kitchen was designed by me, of course. I am the chef. And of course, I added in a wine chiller. Come on, it's well needed. So I realized that people eat a lot of rice during the festive period. Rice everywhere. You visit friends, family, they all serve rice, rice, rice. So I tried to do something different for my guests. So I prepared things like Abacha, like that's aka African salad, things like pepper soups and white yam and Ukpaka, things like that. Those are the things I served my guests and they really, really loved it. I actually employed a professional chef to help me for the season so that I can do some baby girls things, but I couldn't just resist the urge to do this thing myself. And this made me realize how much I love to cook. Yay! Alright, in the coming days, I'll share some of the other things that I made for my guests, but today what I'm sharing is the Abacha, aka African salad. So the ingredient for this Abacha is, of course, the Abacha itself. And then I have palm oil. This is crayfish. I have onions. I have Ehuru. I have Ngoo. You can use Akawu. And that is the garden egg leaves, Ukpaka or Ugba, then Scotch bonnet peppers, of course, some seasoning cubes and salt. So it's really hot in Nigeria. Even with the AC on, I still sweat sometimes in the kitchen, but that's good. It's part of the fun. So for the Abacha, I have meat from the cow head as well, that I got from the cow head, but you can also use Kpomo or kanda, whichever you know it as for it. So here I added in some warm water, not lukewarm but not hot, just warm enough to soften the Abacha but not make it so soft, so just soak it in the Abacha. I properly washed my Ugba, I added a little salt, so washed properly. And for the Ehuru, you place it on your stove and let it chow for some minutes in order to release the aroma. Then for my oil, because it's congealed, I put it on a heated pan just to loosen it. Then you remove it from the heat or from the fire. You don't actually let this get hot, just to loosen it up, that's all. So I will take that off now and then begin to add my Ngoo. So this Ngoo is bought like this, but if you have Akawu, that's Potash, you can do it the same way. You dissolve it, sieve out the stones and use the liquid. It does the same thing. If you have those burnt plantain leaves, I think that's the same thing with Ngoo, is just the same thing. So you add it gradually into your palm oil till it gives you that thickness. Then here I've just added my Ehuru. So that Ehuru that was burnt on the stove, then blended, this is it here. So I just added in some Ehuru to the pan and then add in some crayfish, to the whole thing. Next thing, I will go in with some onions. So the onions, I've cut those ones into very tiny cuts, and then add in some of your Scotch bonnet peppers and turn, just turn it, and then you add the rest of the ingredient really. So you add in some salt, add in your seasoning cube and mix. So that's the salt, and just properly mix everything together really. So next I'll go in with the cow head. So I'm also adding in a little bit of the broth, of meat broth. This will help to loosen the mixture, because you can see it was quite thick. So I added a little bit of that broth to help loosen it up a little bit. That's the cow head. I cut it up myself, properly washed it and cooked it till it's tender. Cut it in very little bites, so it's easy to just scoop up with your abacha and into your mouth, so people don't use their hands to drag the meat while eating it. So adding your Ugba. Ugba on itself is a meal. Like, you don't even have to add abacha. Sometimes you can just make Ugba on itself, but this one is abacha with Ugba, which is also wonderful. So if we're just making Ugba at this stage, is kind of ready, but since it's abacha, you just go in and add more abacha. So here I'm just adding in the rest of my ingredients because I think it needs more. So I added in more ehuru, more crayfish, more of the peppers because I wasn't feeling the bone, so adding the rest of everything and turn it. You taste it, and if you think it's good enough, then good. This is one of the meals that you need to really taste while you cook to get it to perfection. Yeah. So turn. It's actually tasting really nice at this point. So I just added in the abacha. You can actually make Ugba on one side, make abacha on one side, then in the plate put your abacha, put your Ugba on the other, like on the side of the abacha. But I really just like to mix it all up, so it depends on how you really like it. And also it's easier to do this because if you're making it on side, it means that you're mixing in two different bowls. You make your Ugba on one side and make your abacha on the other side, or you make one mixture then divide it into two, add Ugba in one, abacha in one. But I just like to mix it up together. Saves time, saves pots and all that. So this is just plating it right now for few guests I had at this minute. So I always make it fresh. Like when I have guests, I just quickly go into the kitchen and prepare whichever thing I want to serve them. It could be abacha or pepper soup or boiled yam and Ukpaka, or those different other things I was making. So I try to make them as fresh as possible. So this is the garden egg leaves. If you don't have garden egg leaves, you can use the garden egg itself. Just cut them into pieces, or you can also use Utazi leaves. They are good. So for the other, I added more onions, cut in this shape, and this is it, guys. This is abacha with Ugba. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you.